right, so it's interesting to know that Christmas is coming up, and around the world, Christmas is celebrated in different ways. So I wanted to go over with this lesson, since we have a lot of people at home and some people here at school, we are going over the different ways and traditions that people celebrate this special holiday around the world. So I know y'all probably have traditions at home. Maybe you eat ham, or you have sweet potato pie, or you open gifts. Some people just use it as a quiet holiday to spend with family. Some people don't celebrate it at all, and that's okay too. But every country has weird and interesting ways that they do as traditions for Christmas. So we are going to start with a little place called Ukraine. Okay, it's near Russia. I've heard it in the news recently, but Ukraine, that little yellow one right there, has an interesting tradition. Usually we put ornaments on our tree, and they put ornaments too, but in Ukraine, a lot of their ornaments are actually spiders. Beautiful, bedazzled spiders. So go ahead, a head, an abdomen, and 8 lovely legs. And there's a story of why they would decorate their trees with pretty spiders and gold and silver spider webs. So go ahead. I'm going to make a star. But we're going to go from the middle and go around and around and around and around to make a spider web. So the story goes that there was a poor widow with children. She had no one to help her provide, and she definitely had no money for decorations. She set up a tree. She managed to get a tree, but had nothing to decorate it with. And to her surprise, when she and her children woke up the next morning, they found that spiders, who the woman allowed in the house live, they had decorated the tree with their webs, and they shone bright gold and silver in the morning light. So to celebrate that, people in Ukraine, from that story, celebrate with spider webs and spider ornaments on their tree, along with normal ornaments. Alright, some of y'all might have heard me talking about Japan. So this big yellow one's the United States. If we go across the Pacific Ocean, that red one right there is Japan. Okay, so Japan. Japan treats Christmas more like a romantic holiday, and everyone gets to eat. They may exchange a few gifts, they may have a Christmas tree, they may not. But in Japan, everyone has a tradition of eating chicken. In fact, KFC is a big company in Japan, and they are absolutely booked with people ordering chicken for their Christmas dinners. So you can go ahead and put a bow, since this is a Christmas chicken. Put a bow on that leg. Maybe put a bow on that spider. So chicken is the big thing in Japan for Christmas. We might like turkey, we may like ham, but for them, chicken. All right. Going across the pond, so United States, I'm going to go across the pond, up a little north to England, which is really up north. So E-N-G-L-A-N-D, England. England, they don't say Merry Christmas, they say Happy Christmas. So Happy Christmas, everyone. And they also have a tradition, instead of eating turkey, because they don't celebrate Thanksgiving, that's an American holiday. Instead, they eat turkey on Christmas Day. Y'all can draw a turkey if you want, but they gather around the table, they have mince pie, liver and kidney pie, pudding, all these other great things. But they also have a tradition of opening up crackers. And when I say crackers, I'm going to start with one here and one here. Almost look like two halves of a broken egg. I want to give it an interesting cup design. And another cup design. Crackers are actually these kind of interesting containers that pop really loud or crack when you open them. One person will pull on the other side and one person will pull and pop. And out comes candy, or maybe a paper crown that you traditionally wear at Christmas around the table, or maybe even a little toy or just confetti. Y'all can write pop with crackers. So the British celebrate by popping crackers with their family. That's one of their traditions. All right, in Iceland. So we're going to go that little, I don't know if you can see it, little yellow dot right there. That's Iceland. It's a small country compared to us. We're huge. They're tiny. It's a volcanic island. It's very interesting. And they actually celebrate 13 days of Christmas. They call it the Yule Days. And every night, kids are encouraged to go and leave their shoes. So let's do 2 jelly beans here. Their shoes add a little edge to the bottom of your shoes. It could look like slippers. An opening up here. Shoes are weird things, I gotta say. You put them on the windowsill, and each morning, if you've been good, there'll be candy in your shoes, or little treats or little trinkets. So put a zigzag line and a little bow. Okay, but this is Iceland's tradition, 13 days, the Yule Days. Now, so either candy, if you've been good, so you can put candy in one of the shoes, or you've been a naughty kid. We talk about getting coal here. If you're a naughty kid in Iceland, you get a rotten potato, and you can put smelly lines by it. Oh no. So you can either be good and get treats, or you can get a rotten potato in Iceland. Moving on. In a country called Estonia, okay, it's near Russia again. It's quite cold. E-S-T-O-N-I-A. This is a tradition you find a lot in these countries here in the world. But it's interesting. The girls are encouraged to wear a crown of holly. So let's go ahead. Holly leaves are spiky, and they have the bright red berries. So you can do that, and then just add another leaf, and another leaf, and another leaf, and just come around in a circle. You can add some berries here and there. The Holly and the Ivy is a song that is traditionally around Christmas time, and it does have to relate back to Christ. So a thorny crown that he wears. So now we wear a crown of holly because it's evergreen. Holly doesn't lose its leaves during the winter and has these beautiful bright red berries. Sometimes they even stick fake candles in this crown, and they all have 4 of them, one for each Sunday in the month of December. So that's a tradition in Estonia for the girls to wear holly crowns. Near there, so I said there's a lot of interesting there. Near there, we're going to Sweden. Okay, there's a little pink one right there. Sweden has an interesting one. And it's, to us, it's kind of odd. So S-W-E-D-E-N, Sweden. When the going gets tough and the reindeer are tired of flying and they still need someone to pull the sled, the goats of Norway are ready to go. So they have a Yule goat. We'll start with a simple rectangle and then a smaller rectangle for the head. Give it a neck, a tail that points up, and these are actually made out of straw, so they actually look like a giant doll made out of straw, and it's found in the city square. It could be like 20 feet, 15 feet tall, and it has these beautiful long horns decorated with red ribbons that go all the way down to its back. So you could put a crisscross applesauce line on there. And it has a red halter, cute ears, and a red ribbon that goes around its center and around its feet. And this is called a Yule goat. Yule as in Christmas time, so Y-U-L-E. And then goat, of course, greatest of all time, G-O-A-T. Now, it's in the center square, but there's actually another tradition which may sound terrible to us. People bet how long the goat will survive and see if it survives to Christmas Day, because it's actually almost a game to try and light it on fire. Yeah, I know that sounds weird. Some years the goat makes it all the way to Christmas, and other times someone actually does manage to light it on fire. The Yule goat in the past century has been lit on fire 35 times before Christmas Day. So another interesting part of that tradition in Sweden. So, what about the times where these are cold countries? Obviously, we have snow and cold temperatures in all these countries. Well, all those countries are above the equator, which is the middle part of our Earth. All the countries that run along the equator are tropical. How do you celebrate in a tropical country where there will never ever be any snow or ice or frost or frozen temperatures? Well, we're going to go to Mexico, where it is never cold. Okay, so Mexico is the next place we go to. M-E-X-I-O-C. And in Mexico, they actually have a flower that blooms in the dark times of winter, because even though it's warm there, it still gets dark and have longer dark days. I'm going to start with a round of circles that's pretty small. I'll zoom in on that. Cute little true flowers that have big red petals that sprout from the center. And those big red petals are part of a flower you may have in your home right now. Poinsettias, or those big red flowers you see for sale in the grocery stores and at Lowe's and Home Depot right now, come from Mexico. And they're part of their Christmas tradition. So, P-O-I-N, poin, S-E-T-T-I-A, poinsettia. Poinsettia flowers. Poinsettias are actually so used to warm weather, they cannot take a frost. They will be killed by frost. But that's good for them because they're native to Mexico, and Mexico never sees frost. All right, moving down our country to Colombia. If you watched Encanto, Encanto is in Colombia, which is this orange one. Colombia. Colombia. Also a tropical country, no snow or ice ever. If there's no snow or ice, how do you celebrate Christmas? Well, you do it with tons of candles. Candles in every window. Candles in paper bag lanterns with holes cut out in special designs. Lights on every house in Pueblo. And they also love to launch fireworks Christmas Day. So even though it doesn't get cold in Colombia, they celebrate with light, is their big tradition. So Colombia celebrates with light. Right next to Colombia is a pink one called Venezuela. Venezuela has another interesting tradition. Venezuela. Venezuela. Also tropical, is near the middle of the earth. Doesn't get cold. And since the 70s, there has been a special tradition. Church is a big thing in Venezuela, but instead of taking a car or walking or biking, people actually come. Y'all can draw a boot and roller skates. People roller skate to church on Christmas Day. No one knows how it got started, but it started in the 1970s and has been a big thing ever since. Actually, the streets closed down on Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day so people can be safe from cars as they roller skate down the streets to church. Very interesting tradition. So our world can be split into two pieces. Top half, bottom half. North hemisphere, southern hemisphere. We're in the north hemisphere. We're near the North Pole. So if you want to find Santa, he's right there. If you go down to the South Pole in Antarctica, where we have penguins like we've talked about kindergarten, first grade, all the countries that are near Antarctica are in the southern hemisphere, and that includes Australia. Now in December, it's winter here. All the countries that are in the southern hemisphere right now are coming into summer. So in Australia, if you've ever watched Bluey's Christmas special, you'll notice they're actually swimming. So let's draw out Australia, Australia. Good day, mates. A big tradition is not only to have a big cookout on Christmas Day, so hot dogs and burgers, but people also celebrate by surfing if they live near the beach. If I ever go too fast, you can pause me. And pool parties. That's very different for some place that finds itself like that. And of course, here in America, we have our own traditions too. So I know this is a lot, but I know y'all can do it. Maybe in this empty space you can research what another country does. Maybe France or Spain, Turkey. Okay. Oh, I do know another place. This is an interesting place. You can barely see it. Hawaii. I know that's one of our states, but it's so different from us because it's so far out in the ocean. A chain of islands. In Hawaii, it's interesting because Santa doesn't come by sled, he comes by boat. So to celebrate that, the Hawaiians actually have a boat race of a very long boat. Paddled by a lot of people, and they have boat races. So you can put people in the boats. And they have oars that they are racing with. They see who can have the best Christmas Day race in Hawaii, the tropical waters. And of course, their favorite, have a Christmas luau with pig, barbecued pig. So there are some traditions that happen from around the world. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Please color it in. Ask your parent to send a picture of it to me, and I can't wait to see them. We'll talk to y'all later. And if I don't see y'all again, you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we'll see you in January.